More things you didn't know. Another one of my favorite shows, Archer. Love this show. Absolutely love this show. It debuted September 17th, 2009. So think about this, because we also talked about Community. Also debuted September 17th, 2009. It's a very good day for television that day. So the idea for the show came up while creator Adam Reed was in Spain, and somebody had given him a collection of James Bond paperbacks. And one day, there was a beautiful woman in a cafe that ignored him, and he didn't know how to approach her. But he had the thought of the kind of character that would, a spy. And hence, Archer was born. The original name of the show, however, was actually Duchess. Do you guys know who Duchess was?
His mom's dog.
His mom's dog!
Yeah.
Yeah! Icky coming in strong! Yeah, it was Mallory's Afghan hound. Now, of course, Mallory, being Archer's mom, she was inspired by Dame Judi Dench from the James Bond movies, actually. Although I think...
Funny.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, the funny thing about that Archer show was, like, I didn't watch the first season, but some guy I worked was like, you got to check it out. So I started watching the second season, and I just remember, I remember, like, the main Archer, his voice, I was like, holy crap, it's the dude from Adult Swim from that cartoon, and it was such a great cartoon. I can't remember the name of it. Yeah, that's the coach. And I was like, it threw me for, and then when I actually found out what he looked like, it even blew my mind even more.
We're going to be getting to that here. I'm so glad you brought that up, because we are going to be getting to that here in just a minute. Because, of course, you're talking about the one and only H. John Benjamin.
Yeah.
With just the voice of the gods, man.
Bob of Bob's Burgers.
And he played Chris's boss in Family Guy as well.
Yep.
Now, FX, which is the show that aired Archer, they wanted a handsome, dramatic actor to voice Archer. But Reed and the other creators, they kept pushing for John Benjamin. What they ended up doing is they sent a video to FX of Archer in his full suit, looking all dapper, talking to kids about showing them a dead body. The audio came from... Home Movies.
Home Movies.
Where
That's
he played
right.
Coach,
I love that cartoon.
Coach John McGurk. And so they took the audio from that, and then they animated Archer around it, and then FX was sold. And I was watching some of these clips earlier today. It's ridiculously funny, dude. Like, it's ridiculously funny. And then at the time, John Benjamin... he was visiting his parents in Arizona, and he was told, hey, you got to get to a recording studio to record the pilot. So he had to do a bunch of legwork to go find a recording studio in Tucson to record the pilot for the episode. Now, one of my favorite characters on the show, Cheryl.
Yeah.
Voiced by the great Judy Greer. Yep. She wasn't supposed to be a regular character. There was going to be a running joke that Archer kept getting Mallory's secretaries pregnant. And so they would dose them with sleeping gas and then drop them off at the steps of Bellevue Hospital with no ID or memory of what happened.
Good Lord.
Like, that's a really funny plot line, but Cheryl was great. Cheryl is just amazing.
Little sex addict.
Now, we're going to get creepy here again. FX standards and practices did have some issues.
Going today with the creepiness.
I know. When I was writing these notes out, I'm like, God, this isn't going well. Because there was a few issues with the show, one of which had Archer throwing a baby to disarm an assassin. And then the other one had to do with the season premiere of season 2, and you remember her name?
The android.
The heiress.
Anka Schloss.
Oh, yeah, the android. Yeah, that's right.
She's not the android. She's just the really slay 16-year-old.
Underage. Yeah, the underage. Yeah.
Icky gets another point for that one. Yeah, it's Anka Schloss.
She's German, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Dr. Disrespect's favorite episode.
Jesus, with you and Dr. Disrespect, my God. She was originally, so she was 16, which is still technically underage, but she was originally going to be 14 because Reed, the creator of the show, did some research, basically Googling, and he found that 14 years old is the age of consent in Germany.
All right.
And that's where the standards and practices at FX were like, you got to up her age. And then even then, they only upped it to 16 years old. Now, here is a really cool factoid for Archer. Obviously, you remember Mallory. Remember who that gentleman is next to her right there?
What was his name? She married him basically for the money.
The car dealer guy. Yeah, I can't remember his name either.
Cadillac. He owns a Cadillac dealership.
Yeah! Vicky with another point. Ron Cadillac. Ron Cadillac was his name. Now, here's the really interesting fact. The voices of these two characters were married in real life.
Yep. And he was actually Jennifer's father in
Friends. Yep. So it's Jessica Walter and Ron Liebman, who played Rachel's dad in Friends. Also, if you've ever seen Garden State, he plays a therapist in Garden State as well. Now, they married back in 1983. Unfortunately, both of them have passed away. He passed away in 2019, and she passed away in 2021.
Now, I do need to say that this is not Jessica or Walter's best performance, really, because Arrested Development's got to take the cake as her best role ever.
Yeah, and also the fact that she was the mom in Dinosaurs. I mean, think about all the mother characters. She was the mom in Dinosaurs. She was Mallory Archer, and she was also was it Lucille Bluth?
Yep.
In oh my God, I forget how good that show was. That show is amazing. And finally, for the show Archer, the American Tinnitus Association was happy with the show because obviously you have him dealing with tinnitus after Lana fires the gun right behind him with no ear protection. Do you guys remember what he did after she did that?
Mop.
And you both get a point. Mop.
I have terrible hearing and tinnitus, so that hits home for me for sure.
I have like every other episode. It would go mop. I love the Burt Reynolds episode, though. That was fantastic.
There's a clip from the show that they use on one of the sports shows that I watch that's from Portland called Primetime with Isaac and Suk. And it's when they go into what they call the club hour. And it's where he's talking about, she's like, how and why are you drunk at 6 a.m. or 6 p.m. or something like that? And he's like, well, the how is pretty obvious. And the why is, I thought we were leaving at 6 a.m. tomorrow. Ergo, Latin, I'd have time to sleep it off. Like, it's just, his voice and the writing of that show was just so freaking brilliant. So there's some things you didn't know about Archer.